Welcome back, chums. Yesterday, CD Projekt had an Investors Day where they talked more about the future of the studio, including Cyberpunk sequel, live-action project, as well as provided sales numbers for Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty. So let's go through everything we have learned so far, and as always, you will have timestamps down below so you can navigate to the topic which interests you. First off, we have learned that Cyberpunk 2077 sold more than 25 million copies since the release on all platforms, and Phantom Liberty expansion itself sold more than 3 million copies in the first week of release. So keep in mind that this 25 million is without Phantom Liberty itself. And these are very good numbers for CDPR, being that The Witcher 3 itself sold more than 50 million copies as of May 2023. So Cyberpunk is still far away from that number, but keep in mind that The Witcher 3 was out for a longer period of time and had different, reception on the initial release. And it will be interesting to see how this continues to sell throughout next year and the year after that. Also, in total, CD Projekt announced that they have sold more than 100 million copies of their titles, which does include Witcher 1, 2 and 3, and of course Cyberpunk 2077. But nevertheless, this is definitely a big number, and I think it rounds up what they did so far really well, being that from this moment onwards all of their titles will be in Unreal Engine 5, which we will talk about later in this video. When it comes to Phantom Liberty specifically though, they have sold 68% of copies on PC, with 10% of that being on GOG and the rest is Steam and Epic Games Store. When it comes to consoles, 20% of copies went to PlayStation 5 and 13% to Xbox Series X and S. I do think this number would of course be higher if it came out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well, but even though this was a tough decision, I do think it was a good one because, now you can fully utilize the power of current gen, especially on PC, and kinda develop your game in that direction. Region-wise, expansion sold the most in North America with 35.9%, and surprisingly Europe coming very close with 35.1%. Asia is 23.1% and the rest, like South America, being 2.7%, Africa 0.4% and Australia 2.8%. They have also released that 360 developers worked on Phantom Liberty from CD Projekt and 3,600 people were engaged in the project in some way. And a whopping 95 million zloty was spent for marketing, which I think is around 21, almost 22 million US dollars, and production was 275 million zloty, which again I hope is about 63 million US dollars, but again I could be wrong with these numbers, but I'm pretty sure someone is going to correct me if I'm wrong. And looking at these sales numbers so far, it definitely seems that they got the money back relatively fast. Now when it comes to Unreal Engine 5, as I said, one of the good things they're gonna be talking with Epic in general is that some of these solutions from Red Engine, especially when it comes to rendering and so on, they will be kinda using them for Unreal Engine 5, so they will be using the experience of Red Engine and what they developed there and try to implement it and change it into Unreal Engine 5 so it's going to suit their future games, which I think is a very nice thing. Now next up, there are also some great news when it comes to Cyberpunk live action project. It was announced that CD Projekt will be entering into a partnership with Anonymous Content. Anonymous Content is a production company which has been involved in many serious film and TV productions, which includes Mr. Robot, The Revenant, True Detective, and as it says on their website, their portfolio also includes Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind, Being John Malkovich, and so on. And what I mean by this is that this company is not some amateur hour, these are some heavy hitters in Hollywood, and I think it's probably one of the best decisions they have made to enter Hollywood scene with Cyberpunk by using this company. And for everyone asking why do they have to do it, why they cannot develop this alone, live action by itself, especially if you're going for a series or feature film, is very complicated and requires a huge budget and a lot of people, so it's not something which CD Projekt can do by themselves. Of course, because they said live action, it can be anything, a short film, a feature film or a series, but I would rather them do a film first and then see what can be done for a series themselves, and I do expect some serious names from both acting and directing side here. But luckily this doesn't mean that they will stop exploring animation again, and hopefully they will do something else with Studio Trigger, because honestly they have such a good synergy. Edgerunners was fantastic, so maybe in the future they explore more of these personal stories and events, especially because it helps, Edgerunners gave Cyberpunk a new breath of fresh air, and player numbers proved it. I mean, the first time CD Projekt and everyone realized how effective cross-medium promotion can be is when Witcher Season 1 came out and Witcher 3 saw a huge boost in player numbers. But as it is with everything, this project is still far away and I hope it will be good. They have an amazing universe, so many stories can be told. Pavel Sasko also took the stage to talk more about the technology used in Cyberpunk and the future of the IP itself, and I really suggest to hear him out, especially on how they have learned from all of this and how they want to progress in the future when it comes to their sequel. And I think that, this can be seen with Phantom Liberty, being that they tightened up the story and experience a lot more, including a redesign of major systems in 2.0, making the gameplay more streamlined. Now when it comes to Project Orion, which is a code name for their Cyberpunk sequel game, as they call it, Adam Badowski took the stage to talk more about it, and it is confirmed that currently it is in early development stage, so we are talking more conceptual phase rather than the full development, which is going to be, well, designed by the people who fine-tuned Cyberpunk and designed Phantom Liberty. They will work out of Vancouver and Boston offices, while other half will work from Poland as well, and this is actually concerning all of their projects in general. And of course, a big question came about first and third person perspective. They said that they were very happy that they kept Cyberpunk 2077 only in first person, but for the next game they are not sure how to tackle it yet. But I do think that Cyberpunk might stay first person, with the Witcher game being third person only. This allows them to expand their lineup and portfolio more, because they would be able to tackle development of those games in a different way when it comes to story, gameplay and the rest. But look, we shall see. It's very early to talk about this, honestly. But let me know down below, what would you like for a Cyberpunk sequel? First person, third person, or a mix of both. Regarding the next Witcher game, not much has been said, but we do know that this development is heating up more and more, especially now that they are done with Phantom Liberty and can fully focus on that project. And for the end, they talked more about being transparent with their customers and ensuring that, well, what happened with the initial release of Cyberpunk never happens again, which really is nice, and hopefully it's going to stay like that in the future. In general, I think they did a fine job with how they handled 2.0 and PL release, especially giving their devs enough time so everything is polished well on release. There were also some management changes, because Adam Kaczynski, the current CEO, will move to a supervisory role, becoming Chief Strategy Officer as of January 1st, 2024. The CEO role will be filled with Adam Badowski, who is a Chief Creative Officer, and Mikhail Novakovsky, who is a Chief Commercial Officer. Together they will be entering that position as joint CEOs. Both Mikhail and Adam, for those who don't know, have been in the company for a very long time, with Badowski being a writer for The Witcher 1 and director for The Witcher 2 and Cyberpunk 2077. And this pretty much covers everything major they said in the conference. Future of their games seems bright, but again, after this there will be a long silence until we get something new about The Witcher and especially Cyberpunk. Now of course there is the new Witcher game coming from the Molasses Flood, which right now is pretty much unknown when it comes to the status of that. And also there is going to be a Witcher 1 remaster, which is outsourced to a different studio, but keep in mind that studio is filled with some of the people who have worked on The Witcher in general. But of course, if you enjoyed this video, chums, don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and also join our community on Twitter and Discord. Huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters, and as always, stay classy, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye bye.